Hi, I'm Lisa Neff-Wheeler. I've lived in New Jersey the majority of my life. I've lived in the Hillsborough, Montgomery, New Jersey area for over 30 years. I love living here. The area has maintained its country feel while having the conveniences of a more urban area. I look forward to sharing why I love the area and the local businesses. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Lisa Neff-Wheeler, and today I'm here with Brian McNally. Brian is the CEO of Stryka. Stryka is a leader in the nutritional products industry, which serves many different types of manufacturers. I've been looking forward to this interview to learn more about Stryka and their focus on consistently providing the highest quality products. Thanks for joining me today, Brian.
Thanks, Lisa. I'm pleased to be here. Stryka is a leading manufacturer and distributor of ingredients to the food industry. We have approximately 2,500 different ingredients that include spices, nutritional ingredients, food ingredients that we sell to every possible area of the food industry. You wouldn't see our name on a label because our ingredient goes inside of the product. We purchase these ingredients from all over the world, wherever they grow naturally. We bring them in here. We typically finish the manufacturing over here and then resell it in whatever form to whatever industry it goes to. The most important thing we strive for is quality. Every ingredient coming in here goes through a very rigorous quality control regimen, and I'll show you the lab later. Okay. We are licensed by the FDA, we're licensed by the New Jersey Department of Health, we're licensed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Some of the products are kosher certified, and number one, it's quality. Nothing comes in or out unless it's perfect.
Interesting. So, I would assume that, all this supply chain stuff going on is having some impacts on your organization right now?
Correct. It's having a big impact with pricing more than anything. The freight, as probably everyone knows in business, went from a container of $1,500 to $20,000 to $30,000.
Wow.
But not only does it affect us, it affects all our competitors, so we're all in the same boat with regards to that. So it's an equal playing field. But also a few years ago when they increased the tariffs of a lot of products that came in from China, so that caused us some difficulties also. One thing we did, because we're so financially strong and we saw the delays coming on the horizon, so we have a large inventory here. So where we would normally have a 3-month supply of inventory, we have now, let's say, a 1-year supply of inventory.
Oh, that's good.
So delays haven't cost us any problems in not filling orders or not making customers happy. It just increased the prices because of the shipping.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit how you got started in this business.
Well, it's an interesting story. I didn't start the business myself. The business was started in 1990 by a fellow who came from Germany. Okay, he started the business selling, again, all the same ingredients to the food industry. Around 1996, between 1990 and 96, I was a consultant in Manhattan to all different types of companies, small ones, large ones, Fortune 500 companies. And in 96, he brought me in as a consultant to help grow the business. Okay. And then as things progressed, eventually, a couple of years later, he hired me to be the general manager of the company in the late 90s. Then, in the early 2000s, some unusual events happened which gave me the opportunity to acquire the business from him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot of unusual events, but I had no money. I mean, literally, I had no money. Maybe, a few bucks equity in my house. So, that was maybe 2002, 2003. So I just went online on the internet, started looking up potential lenders and called dozens and dozens of lenders. Nobody had any interest in loaning me money, especially when I had no money to put up myself.
Right.
And then, I don't know, I just got lucky. I called somebody. I didn't even realize who I was calling. And when the guy heard the story, he said, "Oh, Brian, you don't remember who I am. I know you from X, Y, and Z 15 years ago. I'll give you all the money you need."
That was great.
You don't even have to put up a penny. I'll put up all the money and just make the deal. So he put up all the money. I eventually paid him back, of course, and that's history. I ended up buying the company in like 2003.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a pretty amazing phone call. I just picked the right number out of the internet.
People were watching out for you.
Yes.
So, talk a little bit about, you were a consultant,
Right.
and I've lived in that world myself. What was it like when you acquired the business? What had to change? How did you make out? What did you focus on?
I mean, I'd like to say it was tough, but no, it was easy because I already worked here 3 or 4 years, consulted for a couple of years. It was an existing business, so really it was just stepping in and doing what I had been doing for 4 or 5 years before that, so it was easy.
That's good.
Yes, it was easy.
So, what surprised you most about owning your own business?
Oh, the amount of competition. With the 4 or 5 years that I was already involved with the business, we had some competitors, but maybe it was literally a few hundred. But every year those competitors just multiply themselves, and now we have thousands of competitors. And it's such a global market, so we're competing with people directly from India to here, competing from China to here, South America to here, Europe. Everyone is selling in a global market. So we have people from China that are opening a warehouse over here. We're competing with people from India, same thing. People from South America. Of course, we're competing with the regular U.S. companies like ourselves on a level playing field. So that's been shockingly difficult, that every year the amount of competitors goes up twofold, threefold.
Wow.
One advantage we have is that over the foreign competitors is we have inventory on site, we have a lab on site, so we're testing everything ourselves versus somebody who has a public warehouse, who doesn't really touch the product, does not test the product. So we have a big advantage over that. Of course, we have a bigger overhead compared to them also. So we have to sell on quality many of the times versus just selling on price.
Right.
And then, of course, finding quality people has been a problem, okay? We have a lot of great people here now that have been here a long time. A lot of them have been promoted from within. I always try and do that because over my career prior to here, I've had a lot of promotions and that made me successful. So probably 80% of the employees have been promoted from within here. But finding people from the outside that have...
What drives you to do what you do and what motivates you?
Oh, I'm just so internally motivated from when I was a kid. Everything I just want to be the best at. Everything. I'm not always successful.
Sounds like you have the same parents I had.
I'm not always successful, that's for sure. But ever since I was a kid, whether it's sports, in school, I always wanted to get the best grades, be the most successful, whether it's at baseball, football, etc. Now, as a family person, being the best father, being the best baseball coach, being the best CEO.
I understand stuff now more so.
Yes.
By the way, everyone, he was a baseball coach for my son.
Full disclosure.
What are your goals over the next year for Stryka?
I would like to hire 2 to 3 additional salespeople to help expand sales. in addition to hire a new sales manager, again for the same reason, to help expand sales, we are actually already running ads on Indeed for the last couple of months, interviewing people for that. On a slightly longer term basis, we would like to acquire other companies, preferably within the industry, but not necessarily. And I say not necessarily because when I was a consultant for many years, I touched so many other industries. So if all of a sudden we were going to acquire a pizzeria, well, maybe I was consulting to a pizzeria before, so I have that experience. So to make acquisitions, preferably in this industry, if not other industries.
What do you think will be your greatest challenges to achieving those goals?
Right now, COVID. COVID has affected sales both actually in an upward direction and in a downward direction. When COVID first spiked, everyone was trying to self-medicate themselves and was stocking up on food and food supplies. So our sales went through the roof. And then our sales went the other way. When people realized, they didn't need to do all that, and then vaccines came out.
Right.
So then sales went this way, and now sales are going back that way. So COVID's going to be an ongoing challenge from the sales side, from keeping employees healthy, from finding employees that want to work in the office, because the way we operate, we have to look at products all the time. We have to touch products. We get samples in from customers to look at. So this is a mostly in-person operation. After that, I think regulations from the government are a major obstacle. Too much regulations, and New Jersey being not so business friendly.
Are you getting the support you need to overcome all these challenges, or you guys are kind of figuring out what you have to do on your own and working through it?
Well, we're mostly figuring out on our own. The only support really I need is the support of the employees, family, and friends. And, that's also constructive support, not just agree with anything I say, no, but give constructive criticism. Hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? One bit of support would be just some consistent guidelines when it comes to COVID from the CDC, consistent guidelines of rules from whether it's New Jersey government or FDA or federal government, something consistent where we can build on it, not start to build on it, and then 6 months later, everything changes.
Now talk a little bit about how long you've lived in Hillsborough, what you like about Hillsborough, what your favorite restaurants are.
My favorite
all
restaurants.
the fun, good stuff.
Oh, okay. So when I first came here as a consultant, I was living in Manhattan and commuting all the time.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, it was pretty tough.
2 hours in and out, I understand.
But once I got hired, I quickly moved here to Hillsborough. Since I was already working here, I was already familiar with the town, already liked it. I liked the atmosphere and so on. So really, since 1997, I've lived here. I had an apartment first, then bought a house on the, west side of town, and now have a house here about a mile from the office. And Hillsborough, it is a great town. It has everything you can imagine. It has farmland, it has apartments, it's got condos, it has single family homes, it has obviously shopping, restaurants, it has parks, it has a sports complex, it has athletic fields, so it really has everything. And then if you're a city person, well, you're only 50 minutes from Manhattan, you're an hour and 20 from Philadelphia. If you're a beach person, well, you've got beaches all over the place. I'm not a beach person, but there's a lot of people.
I am.
If you're a gambler, you got Atlantic City and you want to gamble, you can go there. So it really has everything. For favorite restaurants, I like all types of food, but certainly my wife would say Old Man Rafferty's would be a favorite because of the salmon that they have there.
We like Old Man Rafferty's too.
Old Man Rafferty's. And then if you venture a little bit out of Hillsborough, Char
Yep,
would be
that's good.
a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chipotle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Moe's. Domino's. You know, we're pizza lovers, so there's plenty of food. You can definitely gain a lot of weight, you know, living in this town. Plus, you know, there's a lot of this wildlife running around here.
Yes.
And in my own property, we have foxes that appear all the time. A few times a week, well, not a few times, but there's a flock of turkeys, if that's the correct word, flock of turkeys that live on my property all the time. So a few times a week, they're standing at my back sliding glass door, looking in, you know, peeking in. And as soon as someone gets close, they go running. So I have a lot of beautiful photos of the wildlife here. So there's a lot of benefits to Hillsborough.
Our dog, we had, I've lived in this area off and on for 30 plus years. We've lived in our current house. It'll be 22 years in June.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
a while.
Okay. Yeah, before here, again, I lived in New York.
Well, Brian, thank you so much for your time
Oh, it was
today.
my pleasure.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. It's been great learning more about you. I knew you as the baseball coach,
Right,
so
right.
learning more about you and your business. And for our audience, thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'm Lisa Neff-Wheeler. If you have a business and would like to be featured, please reach out to me today at 732-267-1204. See you on the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.